Good morning. I wanted to follow on specifically on oil. Over the weekend I wrote an article about drones striking deep inside the kingdom. That link you'll see now if you're interested in going back to that story. Let me touch on an article I came across in Asia Times. Attacking the Saudi oil infrastructure is the equivalent of attacking the heart of a living creature. It is the source of its existence as a country. The Saudis know that they are no match for Iran one-on-one. They absolutely need the cooperation of the US, and Israel would be a big help too. The Iranians know perfectly well they cannot directly attack Israel. Israeli submarines equipped with nuclear-tipped missiles are permanently deployed in or near the Gulf, and with that option Israel could attack and cripple Iranian nuclear and other infrastructure with non-nuclear equipment from the air, as almost happened in 2012 before the attack was called off because of opposition from the Obama administration in Washington, allegedly. Immobilizing half of the Saudi oil production is not a minor event. Retaliation will probably be equally serious, if not more so. The preliminaries are over. The main event, it would appear, is about to begin. Unless, of course, the Trump administration does nothing of significance in retaliation, that would be a mistake of cosmic significance, much more serious than the erasure of Obama's red line following the Syrian use of poison gas, which led to a significant reduction in US influence in the Middle East. Now that's one side of the argument. Yemen's Houthi military spokesman says US satellite images are fabricated and aim to downplay the damage to the Saudi Aramco facilities. Iran, in a letter to the US via Switzerland, warns against any attack, says response won't be limited to its source. It's still not clear where Saudi Arabia's military says the attacks on its oil sites on Saturday came from the north and were unquestionably sponsored, remember that word, by Iran, as reported by Sky News. So I tweeted to Sky News saying, so now it's all about the linguistics of sponsored. And the US is saying it was launched by Iran from Iranian soil, sponsored by, suggests a proxy carried out the attack, although now Riyadh also rubbishes the idea that the proxy was the Houthis. That's Michael Weiss. Why the fuzzy language here? Because saying Iran bombed Aramco means you have to retaliate. I listened to President Trump yesterday and he seemed to indicate he was not prepared to retaliate at this point in time. 13th of May, I wrote, if the US thinks Tehran will roll over, which appears to be the case, then they are exhibiting the same deluded ideas that they exhibited a day before the peacock throne, the Shah of Iran, got plucked. Washington Post. Iran's leaders have long thought with reason that the best defense is a good offense, and appear to be embracing that assertive approach once more. Washington's reaction proved what the battle-hardened generals of Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps had suspected, that Trump's itchy trigger finger was purely a reality show for Twitter. And 17th of June, the overwhelming evidence that Iran is displaying both in rhetoric and action is astounding. That was Stratfor. Ali Weiss, quoting New York Times, the evidence gathered so far, one official said, isn't a slam dunk. And I tweeted on the 16th of September, the burden of proof is what Iran is relying on, and Trump and Pompeo to date are falling woefully short. And this cry wolf strategy is eroding their bona fides exponentially. And I think they've already had their 3 strikes and you're out limit exhausted. Trump, I've instructed the Secretary of the Treasury to substantially increase sanctions on the country of Iran. 13th of May, I said this level of financial and coercive sanction warfare is simply unprecedented. Trump has been a big proponent of coercive financial and sanction warfare, and its expression vis-à-vis Iran is its apogee, I said. It reminds me of This Is Spinal Tap, when you've already got the music up to 10, and there's this great clip where he says, no, but my machine goes to 11. Go and have a little listen to that. And now the Yemen rebels are threatening strikes against Dubai and Abu Dhabi. We announced that we have dozens of targets in the UAE, among them Abu Dhabi and Dubai, and that they can be targeted at any moment. This is the Houthi military spokesman Brigadier Yahya Sari said. If you want peace and security for your facilities and towers made of glass that cannot withstand one drone, then leave Yemen alone. The militia claimed it carried out devastating attacks on Saudi oil infrastructure that took out half the kingdom's production, although Washington and Riyadh reject that, saying the assault was beyond their capabilities. To the Emirati regime, we say that just one operation will cost you a lot. You will regret it if your leadership decides to issue instructions to its armed forces to launch any response in the coming days or weeks, Sari said. 15th of July, the UAE's MPZ bailed out on MBS's Yemen war, where the kingdom is bleeding the Houthis, I said, but is bleeding in return. And that took me to Don DeLillo, and actually I was also reading William Golding The Spire, which was another book I did for my O-level, or was it A-level? And this is what DeLillo said: you live in a tower that soars to heaven and goes unpunished by God. And that brings me to crude oil, which is currently trading at $58.30. And essentially what I think we have here is a significant repricing of House of Saud longevity geopolitical risk. And what we've seen now is evidence that Iran can strike at the very heart of the Saudi oil empire. And therefore, I for one think near term, of course, we'll get this chat, the market will sell off, the Saudis will pronounce that they've got billions and billions of barrels. But I think going forward, we're going to see a higher oil price. And therefore, I'm a buyer in December 2020, around that sort of area, 12 months out. The noise will diminish, and the reality of what we've witnessed will continue to propel the price higher. Therefore, that's my final conclusion. Thank you for listening.